And then when you get to the next form, the Biu Ji form, then it's much more fluid. Um, and the idea is that you're not just learning to, uh, especially in the torso, let's say, the torso is not just for transferring force from lower to upper limb. That is taking force from upper limb down or bringing force from lower limb up. Right? So the primary difference is in the torso, and that includes the spine as well as the scapula. Like I just said about the shoulder, right? There, that should be pretty locked. Right? So there's this kind of popping and locking to use a dance kind of um, metaphor, but it's not just metaphorical. I've seen poppers and lockers who said, "Oh, that's very much like um, Tsum Kiu." They lock, right? They create these shapes that are pom, right? That if you're standing in front of them, would be efficacious for self-defense more than some other styles, let's say, of martial art. Um, and so the third form really unlocks, right? So the torso is not just used for uh, transference of force or transmission. It is actually becomes a source of force itself. That is, you really mobilize the spine and scapula and collarbone, which if you started with then your body would not have the strength and integrity, right? If you did too many of them, it would be like wiggling, right? You would be like a wet noodle. So it makes sense to me that the Biu Ji form, which unlocks that which was locked, which liquefies that which was solidified, has to be in that sequence. It you could learn it the other way, but I would say that as for pedagogy, I would say that would be a disservice. And so I know some people, oh, Biu Ji, I want to learn that form. It's so cool. And you can say you've learned all the forms. Yes, then you don't like the previous, any other ones, and you just want to do Biu Ji for the rest of your life. Yeah, you can make it work. But I think in terms of the ontogeny of development, that it's important to start with the Tsum Kiu and then Biu Ji in that sequence. And so you learn to extend your body to longer ranges as well as contract it into smaller space. This is the third form, the Biu Ji. So I'll say that again, right? Using this and also this concept, this geometry of spirals, right? Spirals you can unfurl, right? Or you can contract. Right? And so that's how I understand it. People just talk about the techniques. I think in terms of principles. So it's not about elbows per se, but it's because you contract your body into smaller space, which is relevant for close distances, right? Or to free up objects or limbs or bodies that are close to your body, right? However, in Biu Ji, we also have the most extensive spiral expansions too. We have things like Sakeng Sao, for instance, that really stretch out the body and extend the spine, and you get another maybe 20-30% of range beyond the main distance of Tsum Kiu. And you can shrink maybe 20-30% in space for closer distance than what's mainly practiced in the Tsum Kiu form.